White, catching light strays, climbing out the gutter, iron will like the frame. Wrapped in shadow, but they shine like noon. For hearts beating, sync with the.
What's up? What's up, fellas? Here we are back. It's been a hot minute since we kind of seen each other. We are here with season one, episode 9. Got to keep pushing through it. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about barbershop therapy. What it is. How it's like how it helps black men when they go and get their line up and cut. Because I know you gotta have those talks while you're in there. It's very therapeutic, for a certain sense.
Yeah.
So before we get started, let's kind of just go around and say how our week's been and what we've been up to since we last seen each other. Will, you can start.
All right. What's up, everybody? It's good to see y'all all over again. As I remember, my name is Will. My week, man, it's just been more of a healing type of week. Dealing with the flu and all that. So taking medicine and still going to work. It's tough, but I still made it through. I'm getting a little better now, so my voice is back. I'm able to breathe again, and I just keep on moving forward.
Yeah, well, glad you're feeling better, brother. That's
For
good.
sure, bro. What's going on, everybody? It's Tim once again. Back with my brothers doing our thing. The week was pretty much the week. You know what I mean? I think the most eventful time was basically my daughter's birthday, uh, which was February 15th. Well, she's born on the 12th, but we did it on the 15th. That was fun. She had like a little fairy princess slash Michael Jackson slash Mary Poppins thing going on. So that was fun. That was cool. I officially learned that my kid can moonwalk better than I can. So we're going to explore that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say my week's been all right. It's been a little rough. Just dealing with you know boss always down my neck and stuff like that. But I got to keep it pushing, and as long as I show up to work, that's the best thing it is. Like you gotta continue to keep showing up for yourself, and you know, if you have kids, got to keep showing up for them. So I'm gonna keep pushing through it. And but today's topic, let's get right into it. Barbershop therapy.
All
So
right.
I know this is something that probably a lot of people don't really talk about a lot. So that's why me and the fellows discussed that we wanted to talk about this tonight because it's really therapeutic to go get that line up and that fade. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
Yeah,
sit there and
man.
talk to your brothers and get all the stuff that's been on your chest that you can't say at work or you can't say at any atmosphere that you're in, but you can say and be free to talk about how you really feeling to your brothers or to your barber. And it's really therapeutic for me. Like when I go and get my hair cut and I'm sitting in that chair, I just feel so relaxed. Feel rejuvenated, especially when I see when they get done with that taper, all that. It be making me feel good. And I think it's really important to really have the conversation because a lot of people don't talk about it. So, what's your thoughts about barbershop therapy? How does it help you, Tim?
I mean, honestly, I always want people to remember before we came into this like time frame, right? Where now black men to be exact, I'm just going for us, where now we're talking about therapy. Beforehand, it was always our barbers, always. You know what I mean? Either the barbers or some people's cases the bar. But for us, it feels good, man. It's been a minute since I've been in the barber, as you can see, I got the locks and all that. So, but but
We get it.
when I am there, or when my barber comes to me, man, we talk about everything you can think about. So, from kids to where the money going to where can we make some more money or other things like that. And I think to me it's much needed because it's like having your own personal therapist directly for you. So that's how I feel about it. How about y'all?
For me personally, I just went to the barber on Saturday, so I feel fresh. But for a personal experience, I grew up in a barber shop when I was about 10 years old, and it was just down at the other end of my neighborhood. So barbershop therapeutic is like one of the best things to have, especially being black in this country. Because when you go there, like Tim said, you get a lot, you can discuss about anything. That's like your 30 minutes to an hour of relief from the world. For example, like my barbers, man, they kick knowledge to you. They talked about the culture, they go about history, also about government funding, where businesses are headed, the youth, what the old heads used to do. It's so much that happens inside of a barbershop that so many people don't understand that it gives you knowledge at the same time while you sitting down and getting your hair cut. And while your barber's talking to you, you know what I mean, he's helping you out while you also help him out because it still builds a bond. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's like a brotherhood as well in the barbershop.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with that. Do you ever feel like this is because this is probably like a tough question I'm about to get ready to ask, but like I'm gonna ask it anyway because we gotta always have those tough conversations. But like, do you ever feel like when you go to the barber and it's another, I mean, a brother that looks like you, do you ever feel like guarded that you can't say everything that's on your mind because you might be judged, or you got that type of barber say, "What's up?" We gonna talk about anything and everything because that's just the type of person. That's just the type of relationship you build with your barber. Do you have any, hesitancies like, "Hey, I'm not gonna talk about this with him because I know that might be, maybe a sensitive topic that he don't want to talk about." Is there any topic that's off limits?
That's a good question, to be honest. In the beginning, speaking for myself, and I'm pretty sure there's other brothers that feel the same way. When you're first meeting your barber, I think a lot of men are naturally guarded, unless you know this person from around the way or you've seen this person a couple of times. Like in run-ins or what have you. You're gonna be guarded, right? And I apologize to the barbers in the world, right? I'm gonna say this. Normally, I look at it like it's almost like the barber's job to kind of get you to, you good, bro. Don't worry, I got you. You all right. I mean, outside of lineups and the cleanup, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. This is a safe space. And when you feel that, then I feel like the guard does go down. But in the beginning, unless you personally know this person, I think most brothers are pretty much guarded. And most conversations are kind of like short answers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. You know what I mean? So I think that's mostly what that normally looks like.
How about you, Will?
To be honest, it's a 50-50 to me because certain barbers, I mean, you can get a vibe off them. You can feel their
Mm-hmm.
aura where it's like, you know what, the way how he just approached himself, I mean, he's communicating, he's up front, he's letting you know, hey, this is how I am, this is what goes down. If you are willing to talk with me, I'm willing to talk back with you. I don't judge. Boom. That's open invitation right there to let you know if you're gonna feel safe to unguard yourself, too open to that barber.
Okay.
That's my opinion on that one.
Yeah, my experience, in the past, it was really, I was pretty guarded. Like I wouldn't say everything that was on me because sometimes, like Will said, you can feel you can feel if I talk about that, that might make him feel some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was very, conscientious about the things that I would say. Um, like if I knew Trump got elected recently and I know that he's, on the Democratic side or something like that, that's some of the topic that I'm just gonna stay away from because I
Wow.
know everybody in that barber feels some type of way. So you
Get,
just gotta,
get you.
read the, sort of speak, feel the vibe of the room before you, open up
Yeah.
your mouth and,
No.
say things. But the barber that I have now, we chill. Like I can come in there and talk about anything and everything, from
Mm-hmm.
relationships to how I'm doing. It's ask me how I'm, my mom, my sister, anything, no topics off limits with him. And then when I noticed it, we built that relationship to like where we understand, like if I understand, like if he's, coming in here looking, mad and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna hold as much of a conversation as if, he looks happy and, more like he's willing to talk. So it's all about reading that vibe. Um, so now I want to kind of bring the conversation into like social media. Has there any been conversations like, when you talk to your barber and maybe he says, they talk a little bit about social media, like, maybe, because obviously as Black men, Black women, they don't think highly of us. And that is a whole conversation within itself that we can have another day. But I wanted to kind of like weave that into the conversation of barbershop therapy. So how like what's your take on that? Is
So for the most part, I know anytime my barber comes over my spot and kind of lines me up and stuff, he does bring it up. The main things are always kind of like pretty much the same bracket. Elon Musk got X. Why we got to call it X? You know what I mean? The only X I know is the ones that I like. Something like that. Or
yeah.
or he may talk about like now there's a lot of machine talk, right? He'll go into different aspects, but it's always kind of like circling in the same aspect, not too deep into social media. And I also put that on me. I may not go as far with him into social media. We'll probably talk about everything else, but not so in depth in social media to that degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Will?
The barber I'm going to now, we haven't gotten to that type of conversation yet. But just thinking, if I was at my old barber, he wouldn't mind bringing up that topic
Gotcha.
because he's old school. I mean, he grew up in the era where how women were, represent themselves correctly and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And now the way how they are presenting,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you're not showing any type of effort of respecting yourself or letting you know that you are a proud woman of who you are, but
Mm-hmm.
instead you just showing off your body just to get attention.
Mhm.
For sure.
Mhm.
For sure. For sure.
And
Yeah,
then they will also say on top of that, that's someone's daughter. So if you have a daughter, would you want your child to do the same thing?
Yo, I get it. I definitely get that.
yeah. So you gotta have that old school mentality where women should
Yeah.
you know um, kind of keep the clothes on and not show so
Mm-hmm.
much skin. And yeah, that's kind of like how my barber his mentality is too. Like, because we always get into these conversations, like you know, women should because a lot of times in the dating world, women have high expectations of us. Like, we got to have 100K salary,
Man,
or
you gotta be yay tall.
you gotta have Rolls Royce, all of these different
Yeah.
things, high expectations of us that kind of does affect our mental health because it makes us feel like maybe we're inadequate to date that person. You know what
For
I
sure.
mean? Like,
Mhm.
but
For
I
sure.
think it's more like you have to find the type of right person for you. Because it's a lot of people it's a lot of women that's cliche and they tend to think behind their own means. Like, why should I be making 500K and you only making 60,000 a year? Make that
Right.
shit make
All
sense.
right.
You know?
Right.
I got a question for both of y'all though, right? Because I know y'all said I know you said your old barber had that old school mentality, right? And I know
Yeah.
your barber has. So do you guys normally just wait until you have that cut to get the info or any questions that you got, or if you're trying to get some of that knowledge, do you wait till that time, or do you just go to them like, hey, you know what? Let me grab a taste with my barber. Let me talk to him real quick, or let me get
Yeah, I
him.
talked to him the whole time while he's cutting
Okay.
my hair.
You know what I'm saying?
I've talked.
Without just cutting the hair. Like if you're
Yeah.
just, hey, let me go to him real quick. I need to talk to him real quick without even having to cut the hair. You just
Oh yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I even do it. Just come in, sit down, even just talk, even if I only
okay,
get a cut.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah, likewise too. Like
okay.
it goes beyond like the barber shop. It's
Yeah,
more like we friends and we can go to kick it with a club or whatever and he introduced his girl, I introduce my girl. It's like that right now.
okay.
It goes way beyond that. We built that relationship. At first, it was kind of like rocky, where you don't really know people like that. So it's like then as you start to talk about it and you find different commonalities among each other, and like I like that, you like that, it kind of opens up and be less guarded, and you can just go into the talking about anything. Um, but I did have a question though for you guys. What do you, in terms of social media, like, how do you think that it has, affected Black men's mental health? I know that women have high expectation of us, like, we have to have, these ridiculous amount of salaries, or, we have to, have a car and stuff like that before we pick them up and stuff like that. Do you feel like that has definitely? I mean, I know it probably goes without saying it has affected your mental health, but does that affect your mental health in any way, or you just try to go after the people that's more realistic and not crazy? You know what I mean? In
Um,
terms of like if you're dating wise.
so
Mm.
it's kind of tricky, right? Because social media works off of algorithms, right? Even if you don't pay that much attention, I could look at something for like 2 seconds, they'll still add into your algorithm. So I say it's tricky because yes, I do try to stay in the aspect of what I want to encapsulate me, but I'm not gonna lie. There are some times where I do see something that brushes across my attention, and I may linger. So I may put something to a point where to effect of now I'm starting to see, like, for example, oh yeah, well, we don't really need black men, or uh, all, all y'all do is complain and this and then the third. But I'm not gonna
All
also,
Black men ain't shit.
you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I don't see, hey, black men, I value you. That feels super good. You know what I mean? I feel like Superman after that when I see that or read that. So I feel like I said, it's tricky. So depending on what you look at, what you observe, what you absorb, you can see all of that shit. But if not, I think, especially if you're talking dating, um, I don't use social media to like kind of curtail my dating aspect, because a lot of that shit, most often than not, to me at least, it seems like it's phony. It doesn't seem like it's realistic. You know what I mean? Like you said, oh yeah, if you want to pick me up, make sure you take me to a 5-star restaurant and have a Maybach and have 5 castles. Oh, by the way, you can't have no criminal record. I'm like, all right, okay, all right, you got it.
And they requiring now to see income now too.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know, right?
yeah, like
Yeah,
this other thing you should
the
require.
dating world's crazy now.
So crazy,
Yeah.
so crazy.
I'm not sure you're anything until we
Nothing,
marry.
nothing.
Yeah.
Um, Towards that question, to be honest, right now, just for me, I'm not even towards that. Reason being, I mean, I got 3 kids. And then, like Tim said, I mean, it's tricky because you got this aspect and you got realistic aspect, and at the same time, you can't tell what is what.
Man,
Because majority of the things that you see now, they just posting about where they at out of the country, or they showing their bodies at a certain angle, knowing darn well that thing flat like sandpaper.
Yeah.
You know, it's just more of it's just a prompt. Just the real people in so they can try to push you away. And then it's like, yo, so what are you really, I mean, what are you searching for? What are you
right,
doing?
right.
Yeah,
So it's confusing.
It is.
yeah, and I think social media exacerbates the problems that we already had, before
Big
it
time.
even happened. In case in point, like, you know, women was always requiring, certain standards, but
Mhm.
then when it comes to us requiring certain standards of them, they want to have a problem, you know.
Yeah.
If you asking me to make 500K, a
Right.
year, and you making 60 or $70,000 a year, make that shit make sense.
Man, don't tell them that, because then what? Oh, I'm high value, but I make
No,
500,000. You make 60. How are you high value, man?
yeah, you're not high value.
Like,
Like
yeah,
that's
actually,
that's
I got a
unrealistic
question for that.
expectations.
yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I actually got a question for that fella since we're already on this topic right here. I
Okay.
know we was talking about something, but this is a quick thing though. If you was looking for a woman to be in a relationship with, what would you want from her? You know, like the
Mm,
criteria and stuff like that. What would you
Yeah,
look for?
yeah. I would say somebody that's not high maintenance, that has their own, job, career going, so we can build off of each other. I don't want to feel like I have to come in and do every single thing. I don't need nobody needy. I have had plenty of those in the past. I want somebody
Yeah.
that's self sufficient and they can do it on their own without me always being around. Like, I don't need nobody high maintenance. So definitely don't want nobody high maintenance. I want somebody self sufficient. I want somebody that, loves me for me, that doesn't always think, that's not a conceited woman. Like,
mm,
always looking in the mirror. Like, I know you're beautiful and all that, but
right.
you don't have to look in the mirror 10 times, 20 times a day to validate your own feelings. Because if you do, it feels like some insecurities there. And that's going to trigger down into, like, I can get any man I want and all that. And I just want somebody that's going to love me for me, no high maintenance, no, argumentative person. Like, I have had too many of those in the past. So, just very well grounded and down to earth. That's for me. How about you, though? How about you, Tim?
So I'm gonna make y'all guys laugh. And by the time I'm done, y'all probably gonna start saying this phrase. So I no longer give criteria anymore. The reason I don't, I feel like because a lot of there are some women who I like to call builder bears, meaning whatever criteria you give, if you say I want a woman who's educated, she will put on glasses and grab the Art of War, and the book will be upside down. She act like she read it. Well, I'm just keeping it in the butt. I mean, and there are dudes that do that too, but I'm just saying it's true. So what I do, and I'm be honest, I'm on some of these apps every now and then. I don't go as hard as I used to, but like I'll put the basics like communication, understanding, know that I'm a single father that's co-parenting, just want to connect or what have you. And then from there, I'll start weeding out based upon whatever criteria I have in my head. If things start getting close, then I'll leave out little breadcrumbs here and there. But other than that, nah, I don't give out no criteria because I feel like they're builder bears, man. Like they just say whatever. Because at the end of the day, what do you end up seeing? Oh, I love to travel and I'm a lover girl. You can travel and love a girl yourself as much as you need to, but it's more than just that for any real man. Let me say that, and I'm gonna keep it funky. Like if that's what you want to put, if that's what you want to keep telling me, cool, do that. But yeah, nothing here, buddy. All
Yeah. My thing, I would want to find a woman who has character,
mm,
someone who's humble, someone who's honest, someone who's not afraid to feel humiliated because she understands that she's not perfect. I mean, she has her gifts, her talents, she has her strengths, she has her weaknesses. And if she's willing to work with you with yours as well and say, yo, we still gonna get through this. I don't care what we go through. Just let you know if I love you for you, your ass ain't leaving.
no, respect to that. I like that. Respect to that.
That's me because it's already enough in the world about how I mean, all we losing a lot of brothers as well as much as sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to come to a point where it's like, you know what? I don't want to continue going through something that we both went through and then gonna try to carry that baggage into this. No, we're gonna lay this flat down. We're gonna do what we're gonna need to do. We're gonna keep God first and we're gonna keep pushing. You know what I mean? Because my parents, they've been together for some years. And
Man.
I have seen the way how they, how they work things out. I've seen the fuss, the fight, the arguments, but it was all verbal. They never got physical.
Mm.
After they worked their things out, they back laughing, joking, all this other stuff.
It's
And
not
I
like
picked
it
that up
today.
from them and I was like, nah, that's nice. Now, as long as we can have these females out here that can do the same thing, we might be all right. We might have a chance.
Right.
All right. I know we're closing up on time here, but it was good chopping up with you
Likewise.
fellas here. But I do have one final question here because I know there's a lot going on with everybody around the world, but we dedicated this podcast for Black men to come and talk about all of their journeys and what they've been through, and a place for hopefully they come in the convers. Hopefully they find something in this conversation that's relatable and that they come to heal. Because that's ultimately what I wanted. So my question is, how can we, with blocking out all the stuff from social media, how can brothers come to a place of healing? What could they do to kind of, I know it's a lot they see on social media. They may feel inadequate. They'll never get that girl, or they just might be going through a lot in their life that they might even want to kill themselves. Who knows? What's one piece of advice you would give to brothers, Black brothers, to kind of help them to find some place of peace and healing with themselves? Obviously, you can't heal everybody, but just a couple of words of wisdom to kind of help those brothers out.
Try to find at least one or two people that you can talk to, that you can really confide in. Um, be as your brothers. Connect with them. Just the reason I say this, because just like how we just talked about the barbershop therapy, right? You want somebody or somebodies that you can have discussions with. Too many people who do decide to unalive themselves or what have you, or go that route, is because they only have nobody to talk to, or they feel like they can't talk to the people who are around them. And that's the difference. I think I heard the old head one time say that's the difference between being alone and feeling lonely. You know what I mean? So you can be around like 50 people and feel alone, you know what I mean? Opposed to alone when you're by yourself. So I think if they can do that, I think they'll be okay.
How about you, Will?
One, put the phone down, get out of social media first. Because you compare yourself towards what everybody else is doing. That ain't important. That's not worth that.
Hmm.
You got to look at yourself first and see what you're doing. And if you know that you're struggling, but most importantly, you recognize what you're doing. If you know that you're going for something, also, you're winning because one, you haven't killed yourself.
Hmm.
Two, you haven't given up yet.
Hmm.
Three, you ain't do anything stupid out in these streets just to get yourself locked up or killed.
Hmm.
Find somebody, man. Talk to somebody. I mean, like I said before, man, go to church, read your Bible, talk to God. Those are the best sources.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say on that one.
Yeah, and I'm gonna second what Will said. Like, definitely believe in a higher being. Because I know when I say things like that, like, some people might get offended because they may not believe in God, but whatever higher power you believe in, it doesn't have to necessarily be, the God that everybody else is thinking about. Just whatever you believe in that, you know, that you place higher than everybody else. Let's put it
Right.
that way.
Right.
Just to be culturally sensitive to people's, cultural backgrounds and stuff like
Right.
that. But just whatever person you believe in, go to them, pray to them, ask for forgiveness, whatever you're going through. You know, if you've been through, if you've been hurting a lot of people, because there's a lot of hurt in the Black community.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Go and pray and ask for forgiveness.
For
It's
sure.
still some things that even I'm going through, and I'm asking for forgiveness. Like, I'm not above beyond reproach, so I try to heal and pray, go to therapy. I talk to my friends. We always have Zoom meetings. We hang out. We do everything we can to kind of make sure that we, as Black men, we're healing. We want to heal. That's the ultimate goal. We don't want to keep being stuck in our trauma. We don't want to keep going through, maybe suicidal ideations and stuff like that,
Hmm.
thinking that we're worthless, that nobody wants us. If you have that community of support and you have God and you have somebody that that you can just go and vent to, that's going to make a whole lot of a difference than just trying to figure it all out in your life. I used to be that person that,
Mm,
had just didn't want to talk to anybody, didn't want to get
mm.
any help, just wanted to have everything stay to myself because I didn't trust a lot of people. That's a whole other conversation for another day.
But I feel you on that one though.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, for
But,
sure.
yeah, that's just my piece of advice. It was good to chopping it up with you brothers.